Hey! Okay, so before I say anything, I just want to say everything about this video is gonna be terrible. I have no makeup, my hair is awful, this is what I do with my hair when it's evil, the background is ugly, sorry. And I'm kidding, that's another story, okay. Anyway, alright, so, I put two one-ish/two videos about our home in Korea. I'm actually back in the States now. We got back 4 days ago, maybe. So I was trying to make a video to recap like all our experiences, some of our experiences there. But I was using Windows Movie Maker, and that's a piece of crap. So don't use Windows Movie Maker for anything more than really basic stuff. So I have another program I'm going to try to use that I've used for some of my other K-pop videos, but that's also kind of iffy, so we'll see. But that's why I haven't been able to put like a good video to give you more of an idea of what our experience is like. However, I wasn't able to get really any video of us teaching. I don't know if anyone did, and I feel really bad about that, but the reason was because I was just really overwhelmed. I made a video talking about how overwhelming the experience was, but my parents are saying if your future employers see this, they might not like it. They might not, think that you're capable, even if you are. So I won't post that video. But I will say I was very challenged teaching. The first time we taught, I think we taught in an evening, and then the next morning we taught, okay, so our first evening I think we taught the young kids, and then the next morning we taught in a high school just for one day, and we taught the same lesson 3 times, and the focus of the lesson was just, it was very broad really. We were a little confused at first as to what they wanted, but basically it was just have something where you can teach the kids a bit about America, about the culture, whatever, and the language, and then try to have them speak the language and make it all 50 minutes. So I didn't know what to do. And I was planning at like 11:30 at night, and I had to wake up at like 6:30 the next morning to leave for the school, so there really wasn't enough time to prepare. But what I ended up doing was, we also didn't have internet connection at the house that I showed you, or the building that we stayed in. We had no internet. So what I did was I just took some K-pop videos that I already had on my computer, and I knew that might be kind of cheating since they already know all about K-pop and I'm new to it. But I took some of the videos and I found the English in the songs, and then I took those phrases and just kind of explained like what they mean usually, but other ways that they could be used. So like the word crazy, one of the songs, the word crazy was in it, and so I said it can mean like you're insane, or it can mean like really like I'm crazy busy, that's crazy funny, stuff like that. So yeah, I did that, and then I tried having them use some of the phrases that I used to explain the words, just to get them kind of speaking some English sentences, but that was a little confusing for them, I think, also especially because one of my classes was like okay at English, but then the other two were very basic English. So I think the material was over their heads a bit. I had translators, thankfully, so they translated a lot of it. And I wish, now that I think back on it, I wish I had had pictures of my family so I could talk more about my family and my culture instead. If I had it to do over, I would do that instead of teaching like an English lesson. But I don't know that I really have pictures of my family on my computer, unfortunately. I know that sounds terrible, but I don't think I do, and I had no internet connection. So I was really limited. But I mean, it worked. The biggest problem that I faced, really, since I had translators, the biggest problem that I faced was not having enough material to fill the time. So I definitely learned overbook yourself, when you're doing lesson planning. Make sure that you have too much to do and put the less important stuff at the end and the important stuff that you need to get done at the beginning, so that you can just start putting in extra stuff at the end if you need to. By the third class that day, it was just very apparent to everyone that I did not have enough material. They were patient, but it was also 5 in the evening when everyone's exhausted, but they still have more classes to go to because Korea is crazy. Oh, I feel so bad for them. But yeah, so that was okay. The high school was okay, and that was just one day. But then in total 5 days, we did a camp for young kids, and the way it worked for us Americans that went over was they just told us, these are the age groups that we need you guys to teach, so pick an age group that you want. And I was not very assertive at all on the trip. I just wanted to be easygoing, calm, quiet, especially since a lot of members in that group were louder, and I thought, oh, the Koreans are going to hate that, even though that's not true at all, which surprised me. But I was like, oh, I can't be loud at all because everyone else is really loud. So I let them all choose what they wanted, and then I just was going to take whatever was left. So 6th grade was left, and I didn't realize how difficult of a grade 6th grade is. And even when the lady found out I was going to be teaching it, she said, oh, you're going to need some help. And yeah, it was very hard. And one of the kids in my group is considered pretty much the worst kid at his hagwon. So he was adorable. He's absolutely adorable to look at. But they were never in the classroom, really. There was always at least one of them running around the hall, finding friends and running into other classrooms and just going crazy and hitting each other with the armor that we were making, because don't get the wrong idea, it was really just biblical stuff, and so it was like a biblical soldier kind of person, not like a we're gonna fight North Korea type of thing. Don't get that idea. But yeah, so we were making armor and they're fighting each other with it and like breaking it, and they loved the tin foil. Holy crap. If you ever have tinfoil around 6th grade Korean boys, I promise you it will not last long no matter what you say, because they were constantly grabbing it and balling up into balls and throwing it around no matter what I said. The moment I took my eyes off it, they had it in their hands, so I really should have just like held it under my armpit the whole time, and even then they would have been trying to get it, like, so, that experience made me think, I can't teach. I'm a terrible teacher. I'm a terrible person. And I was very sad. I mean, there were some fun moments, and the more we went on, the more I realized, especially the 2 girls in the group, I started off with 7 students, and it whittled down to 5 because 2 couldn't stay, and that was really a godsend, honestly. There's 2 girls and then 3 boys, and I could tell the 2 girls, even if they also, especially the one, was willing to just run around like crazy, like the boys, and just like yell and hit her friends across the hall, the girls really did want to learn what they were supposed to learn. Even if they were a little crazy, they wanted to learn. 2 of the boys weren't. The one boy, the troublemaker, didn't want to learn at all. He didn't want to put any effort in. And you really, 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 really had to work to get him to do anything at all, if anything. One of the boys was a little better, and then the other one, I could tell he was trying to put in a bit of effort. He was still an imp, but he was trying, and he's really cute. They're all cute. What am I saying? Asian kids are always cute. Sorry, I'm gonna ramble for a minute. I don't understand why God likes Asians more, but even if you think that Asian people turn out ugly when they're adults, the kids and the babies are adorable. Always. Every time. It's not fair. And especially not fair when they're brats, because you want to be really mad at them, but then you just take one look at their face and it's like, I love you. So, no, actually, my friend said that most of the time I look like an angry mom. With good reason. Yeah, but so it was really hard for me. And our last day teaching, we had a performance, and they had done pretty well at the practice, actually. I was not too worried. But there were some things that I realized after our performance I should have had them do differently, and you couldn't even hear them. Once the performance came, even one of the girls had a microphone, and apparently you still couldn't understand her. So I felt really bad about that. But I think it just, it's a good learning experience. And they worked really hard, despite all their insanity, so I'm proud of them. So that was that. And then we went to Jeju for like 4 days, three days. It took a 5-hour cruise to get there, which I did not realize, so that was an experience in and of itself. There's noraebang, there's massage chairs, there's entertainment, there's, we played games on the deck, there's meals served, there's a store, there's different coffee places, like it was huge. And there was lots of school groups, lots of boys, lots of high school boys. Oh my gosh, like when we got on the cruise for the first time, there was more people there going to Jeju than when we took the cruise back. There's less people on the cruise ship, And my friends said they felt like they were walking through a boys' locker room, because like the halls legitimately are not that wide anyway, and you're walking through with your little luggage, and there's boys on each side of the hall just, you know, jabbering away, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. And then a lot of them are like, hi, hi, and one of them said, I love you, and it it kind of dawned on me after I was back from Korea that I just need to really embrace the whole, oh, Americans, yay, Americans, ah, hi, hi, hi. Like, to me, it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm American, you know, it's not amazing. I wish I could speak English or I wish I could speak Korean as well as you speak English. Like, I'm not a god. Please don't treat me like I'm that amazing. You know, I was more annoyed at that, and I should have just been like, hey, hey, you know, having more fun with that. I wish I had. So the one time when someone yelled at me, I love you, I was like, yeah, no you don't. Should have said, thanks, you know, something, I don't know. But, so it happened, and then one of the girls in our group was really cute and blonde, and so boys were always running up to her and asking her if they could take pictures with her. And she loved it. Don't believe anything she says, she loved it. Oh. So, but yeah, Jeju was fun. It was beautiful. Hopefully, I'm hoping I'm not keeping anyone up by talking. Sorry, I am. The one thing that surprised us was it took us a while to get to where we wanted to be, like near the ocean-ish, and like near the area that we could climb up the mountain. We drove, I don't know how many hours, like maybe 2 hours, and we made little stops along the way. We saw a Mongolian horse show. That was way worth it if you ever go to Jeju and hear about some Mongolian horse show, unless there's more than one, which I doubt there is. It was really cool, so you should do that definitely, and I'll try to put that in the video. But we were surprised at how, like, we were expecting it to be more like Hawaii, where you're just always surrounded by just gorgeous nature, and oh my gosh, it's Hawaii, whatever. We were like driving along a highway, and it's like, oh, there's a building, and there's an apartment building, and there's a house, and this does not look like a magical island, you know. It took a while to get to the beauty, but once we got to the beauty, I thought it was just gorgeous, and I would have loved to stay forever. But whatever. So yeah, that was fun, and then we went to Sunrise Peak. I don't know what it's called in Korean, I forgot, sorry. But there's a really tall, like, peaky area that when you look at it, it's like, holy crap. I keep on saying that, sorry. My dad hates that. It's like, oh my goodness. I could never climb up that mountain. That's way too high. But it's doable. It's very doable. There's a lot of grandmas doing it. Korean grandmas are freaky. Freaky. They're amazing and scary. Like, these women are climbing up a mountain. And they dive to the bottom of the ocean to get food. Literally, like, doing stuff that none of us could do. And we're a quarter of their age. Like, how do you do it? I don't know. It's crazy. But I have massive respect and a little bit of fear for those women. Yeah. I don't know if there is... Oh, yeah. So the cold that I'm getting, we did a lot of food sharing, obviously, in Korea, and then because we were so into the food sharing, we just kind of shared everything, even if it wasn't a meal, if it was a drink, everybody's drinking off the same drink. So now I have a cold-ish. Cool. But it just comes with the territory, I guess. So yeah, I don't know if there's really anything else to report at the moment. I'll keep you updated on some possible things in the future, we'll see. But yeah, I really had to work through being really, really down on myself about my teaching experience, because I thought, oh my gosh, I'm the worst person ever, and my friends are telling me, no, you're not as bad as you thought you were, and you had a really challenging group, and it was like 5 days. How good can you necessarily be when you're pretty new to teaching? You know, you can't hate yourself for that. And I talked to my recruiter, and he said that my experience was basically identical to his experience when he first started teaching in Korea. So I won't be as depressed. I definitely want to go back. There were so many things I absolutely loved. I loved being surrounded with the language. I loved being surrounded with Hangul, so I could read it. I was constantly reading it, even though I'm not really much faster than before. I still was always reading it, and my friends were like, who are you talking to? No one, just reading. Because I can, and you can't. Sorry, I didn't say that. And the gift giving was insane. I'm definitely going to have to learn how to give more gifts. Like, I already like giving little gifts and sweet things, but nice things, you know, but I have to learn how to do even more of that. Just the generosity, the, just not like being like, I want this now, but just like keeping everyone else's opinions in mind first. That was a big thing. Respect, bowing, you know, when you take things from people, like, it's like two hands a lot of times. Or like one time this one guy was handing someone else her phone and he did the, you know, this thing, because he was younger than her, so that was funny. It's just a cell phone and he still did that, you know. So just, I'm trying to think of what other things. I didn't hear a lot of K-pop because we were in a very, very, they call it the backwoods of Korea, so there wasn't a lot of that, but a little bit, so that was fun. Yeah, hanboks. I love hanboks. I want to see them again. I really do want to go back. So there is a lot more, and maybe I'll post another video. Actually, I'll post another video after this describing our flying experience, because I told you I would do that. Yeah. Alright, well, it was a good trip anyway, but alright, bye!